All right, UTSA closes out the 2018 season with a close, dramatic loss to the North Texas Mean Green here in the Alamo Dome Saturday night. Jerry, let's just start with the game. Surprisingly competitive from the Roadrunners today, wasn't it?
Yeah, they really played well after spotting them 17 to start the game. They were really pretty good. I mean, that was the first time I'd seen that type of fire and fight from the entire team for that amount of time this year. I mean, that was really something to see them. They were, I guess, 24-point underdogs,
yep.
And so that was pretty interesting.
So a lot of the attention's obviously going to be paid to quarterback Bryce Rivers, sophomore, drew his first career start today, passed for over 200 yards. Wasn't as accurate as I think he thought he could be. He missed a few throws. There was a one down in the end zone that may have won the game for the team. But I mean, just for him to sit most of the season is pretty good showing from Bryce.
Yeah, I mean, he did miss some, but what I liked was that he was aggressive on his throws, and he was
yep.
Even though he was missing some, it wasn't like he was trying to guide that ball in there. He was cutting it loose, and that was an impressive show, particularly that fourth down pass on that last drive
yes.
to Greg Campbell was
fourth and 16. I think over 25.
An outstanding throw down the field on a crease and hit the crease right there, and that's a mark of a player that's got potential.
Let's continue to move through this individual game. Brendan Brady had 89 rushing yards, just probably the best we've seen the rushing game all season. Jalen Rhodes had a few good rushes. It's just, to me, that's where it started with the offense, being able to keep North Texas kind of out of the box and making UTSA throw over the top. It kind of, for the first time, was the game plan that I think Frank Wilson wanted this season to be.
Right, they had some balance, and it's just always harder for a defense to account for everybody when things like that are clicking on the inside rushes and the quick passes on the outside. When all that is clicking at the same time, it's something that can work, and it's just amazing that it didn't happen. It didn't happen until week 13, I guess. So. I don't know. It's gonna be a strange off season. That's all I know.
On the other side of the ball, Jerry, the Roadrunner defense just absolutely holding down a prolific North Texas offense, especially down here when the game's in the balance. 3 minutes to go. UTSA, it's 4th and short. Kevin Strong comes up with a huge tackle for loss to preserve, a chance for the Roadrunners. Just talk about a little bit about that defense. I mean, assuming Josiah Tauefa comes back, they have a lot of players returning on that defense.
Yeah, it'll be everything will hinge on whether Josiah comes back. If he comes back, they're going to be really good. But even if he doesn't, they still have a number of outstanding players. I think the talent on the defense is deep enough to where they're going to be able to start moving in some players that will they'll replace some seniors with some players who are pretty good, and so it's the defense is going to be okay. The offense still the jury is still way out on the offense, even despite what happened today. I mean, because you just don't know who's going to be running the show out there. It's going to be Frank Harris, it's going to be JoJo, Bryce Rivers. He states his case today, so here we go again. We're already talking about quarterback for next season.
I know, it's crazy. Jerry, let's talk a little bit about the season as a whole. Three wins, a program low. Post-game interview, Coach Wilson seemed confident that he could turn this thing around next year. Let's just start with the big question that everybody's asking. Do you think Coach Wilson will have that opportunity to turn it around? Based on what I've witnessed and seen, I think he will. Nobody's kind of said anything definitively, but it seems like he's going to get an opportunity to coach the Roadrunners in 2019.
I don't know. I honestly have not done I haven't heard a lot on that. To be honest, my feeling is that they should keep him. They should bring him back just by the fact that he's a young guy. He works really hard. And he's just he's young and he's learning, and you just don't you don't cast aside somebody like that who's got so much upside in the way of motivation. Things didn't go his way this year. There were so many people that were hurt in all different areas of. It just seemed like in every position on the team there were injuries all through the two deep. That it was a constant changeover from week to week, personnel in and out. I just don't think you can make a move like this, in the off season this season. You've got to bring the young coach back and let him see what he can do with those kids that he recruited, and they're going to be a year older and a year wiser, and you gotta give him another year for sure.
Yeah, at least one more year. That's the way I see it as well. Let's talk about the quarterback position. It seems like we beat this horse all season long. It's the topic that doesn't go away. It started last spring, and here we are headed into December and the off season, and it's going to keep going. I think there's writing on the wall that Bryce Rivers may transfer. Frank Harris is coming back from injury. Jordan Weeks is there. They're bringing in a true freshman from Midland. So, I mean, where do we stand with the quarterback position? Is it just going to be an all-out battle in the spring again?
Who knows? You know what? But it's interesting. I hope, even if Bryce does not win that, if he elects, I hope that young man elects to come back, because number one, he makes that quarterback room more competitive. He makes it better just by being there.
He's a competitor, isn't he? Don't you get that feel from him?
He's got a fire about him, and they, he may very well decide to go somewhere else. I mean, because there are a lot of kids in that room, and he may decide to go. He's probably talking it over with his folks. He'll be talking it over with them this off season, and trying to weigh his options. But I hope he stays around just for the sake of the team, because it's going to be better. The team will be better next year if Bryce is on the team.
That's probably the biggest question headed into this offseason for the masses. For me, the biggest question is, how does UTSA get this run game consistently established? And we saw glimpses of it today with Brendan Brady and Jalen Rhodes. You're bringing back, all that offensive line almost. The young guys, the freshmen that struggled at times, are going to be a year older. It seems like they're throwing out a lot of JUCO offers for, junior college offensive line to add some depth there. So, I mean, Devin Boston missed. I think they were counting on him a bunch. The JUCO from California, who has 1 year of eligibility, is probably going to come back next year with the medical red shirt. So, I mean, to me, that's more important than the quarterback play, getting that run game going.
The offensive line, to me, is still the sort of the mystery of the season for me, because I just don't know. I don't understand how they were not better this year than they were. I don't have an explanation for it. Like I said, we don't see practices, so we can't. It's hard for me and for anyone in the media to know exactly what is going on out there in the workouts. But I didn't see, until tonight, I didn't see a lot of improvement in them busting open holes and things like that. I just didn't see a lot from the O-line this year. And I Coach Wilson keeps telling us that these guys are going to be okay, but until today, I hadn't seen much of it this year. Quite honestly, that offense was horrendous for most of this year.
Right.
I mean, let's be honest. And until today, it was tough for whoever lined up at quarterback or running back. Yeah. They've got to find some answers there. I don't know what. I don't know whether to say it's more the fact that they were missing Devin Boston and Brett Winnigan and Jalen being maybe 75% or whatever. I don't know if it was that or if it was the line. I just don't know. Like I say, we don't see enough of these practices to know. But maybe we'll keep asking some questions, and we'll try to figure it out this offseason.
Try to get those answers. So
Yes.
Jerry, you and I kind of been around this program through the regime change at the kind of the height of the Coker era, when things were going good, and the end of the Coker era when things weren't going good. It's obviously a rough season, but what's your overall kind of analysis on the direction the program is heading? I seem to think that regardless of the struggles, I thought you're going to see some improvement, and it's not going to be in the win-loss record. It's hard to kind of point to those small, minute things when so much has gone wrong. So I think some of the criticism that fans have of Coach Wilson and the program overall is fair, but it just seems like they're on the cusp of doing something positive to get back down to the winning side of things, doesn't it?
Well, yeah, they have a lot of young players that are just really intriguing. Like I can't wait to see Frank Harris in a ball game. I mean, I remember watching that young man in high school a few years ago. And JJ, I don't know, you weren't around to see Warren McVay when he played in San Antonio 50, 60 years ago, but that kid has Warren McVay style ability in the open field, and he just I would like to see that on display out here. I really am interested to see if he can make it happen at this level. I mean, that's the key question. Can Frank Harris come back and seize the moment? He's going to be, he's going to get his shot in the spring. He's going to have a lot of competition. It's going to be really wild, I think.
Yeah.
I'm not sure how it's going to
Another
turn
crazy spring of UTSA football, ain't it?
I know.
Wow. Well, that'll wrap it up here for the 2018 season. For Jerry, myself, Inside Runner Sports, we appreciate everybody who has followed us this season, and just stick to Inside Runner Sports for the latest. We'll be back with recruiting coverage in December and spring coverage in a few months. Signing off from the Alamo Dome. Thanks.